All right. We're all right. What's going on, Black Speakers Network family? Welcome back to another Speakers Magazine live issue walkthrough. If we haven't met yet, my name is Brian Knowles, president and founder here at Black Speakers Network. As always, I'm joined with the amazing publisher, editor-in-chief, founder of Speakers Magazine, Dr. Pam Perry, in the building from Detroit, Michigan. We got the one and only Sierra Black, who is forgotten more about writing than I ever know. But she is absolutely here as a writer of the cover story for this month's issues and all the issues. And then we have our absolute cover story, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Shawn Fair, is in the building all the way from London, England. So we got a lot to cover. And good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning, Brian. Good afternoon. That is
true. Facts. That is afternoon here. It's definitely afternoon in London. So
yeah. This is a true international speaker, for real. Yes. Jet setting for the weekend. I'm like, come on now.
It's just good to see everybody. You know, like not that I don't see some of y'all all the time, but it's still just good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we have him tell us where he is and why he's there, what he's doing there? Let's kick off with that.
Well, first, there's a big charity event here for kids that have autism, ADHD, bipolar, you know, whatever the deficiency may be. We know that children are the future of every country, right? And so we just wanted to show them some love and let them know that they are amazing. And Lady Kendall Jagger is one of the ambassadors, she's the chief ambassador, I should say, for the Leadership Experience Tour here in London. And she's put on this event, and it's let me tell you, it's absolutely amazing. We'll be showing footage of this in the next probably hour or so, but she's got a lot of prominent people here. A lot of donations have come in, and if anyone who would like to donate to this cause, we'll be sharing some links throughout the course of the day if you want to contribute to just to children.
So you mentioned Lady Kendall Jagger was heading the Leadership Experience. So what is the Leadership Experience Tour?
The Leadership Experience Tour is the #1 platform for aspiring speakers, and it is now a platform for branding speakers. It's giving speakers an opportunity to get on a huge stage to deliver a message that is directly tied into their platform. And I don't know if you know this, but the show has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every time that we've done it. And the October show is no different. We are bringing in a $40,000 digital stage. It's 15 foot wide, 20 feet high. It's going to light up the entire auditorium. And we got 50 speakers flying in from all over the country. We also have about 10 speakers coming in from the UK. And it's going to be an international event right here in the US. So we're just excited about it.
Yes. So the LET, the Leadership Experience Tour, that is really, do you know, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you know how many people have graced the platform since the beginning? When did you start?
We started about maybe 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, somewhere out from that area. I mean, we've done some other things that kind of led into the tour before we called it the tour, but I would have to say that we've probably had up to maybe 470 speakers, somewhere off in that area.
Yeah, it's about 500. Yeah.
And, you know, every time it grows. And in our March show, we're looking to have about 80 speakers at this event. We already got like 30 speakers already signed up for March.
Wow.
So it is really a buzz. And I think I told you this, Pam, we're coming to London next May.
Right.
So,
that's with Lady Kendall.
one of the reasons why we've been over here so much. I've been here now. This is my third time in the last 4 months being here, and just doing some promotional things to kind of get the buzz going over here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. That is so cool. That is so, I love that. I love that. From
really think
Michigan to London.
Yeah, expanding the global footprint, I think, is a really smart move. I do really appreciate, Shawn, we just had you speak within the Black Speakers Network community a few weeks ago. And, the Leadership Experience Tour is a very impressive platform. You and I were talking about this and just how much you've invested back into continuing to grow the experience. And, you got television quality, film producers, you're getting headshots, you're getting interviews. There's so many wraparound experiences that you've infused into it that I think as an attendee and as a speaker, you walk away with so much value. And so I'm just particularly growing this throughout the pandemic and like all of the challenges and stuff like that. I just want to, commend you for continuing to push the envelope and create a platform where people can get this type of visibility. And here on Speakers Magazine, we're extending this as well. So you absolutely deserve to be on the October 22 cover. And I want to make sure that we get a chance to walk through this a little bit, because this is one of Pam's famous takeover issues. And so not only are you on the cover, but I believe we have folks featured throughout the entire magazine that come directly from the Leadership Experience Tour.
Yeah.
That was a great segue, because that's exactly what his conversation was about. This cover issue was continually investing in your gifts and expanding it. And so when you talk about that global and international footprint, that's that was his goal. And as he mentions about the new stage, he's increased the branding opportunity. There's so much that he's doing that he is living, fulfilling that mission that he had set out. But as you mentioned, Brian, that expansion is what his message is about going forward, and has been, and he's lived it. He's showing it. The proof is in the pudding. So, we can get into that a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. Now, first and foremost, I just want to know where you get your clothes from, Shawn, because this is a sharp suit. I am just like, if you're going to be on the cover or something, you might as well come correct.
James Bond, right?
Listen, I'll tell you, Brian. I shop at Nordstrom's, and I believe that if
Nordstrom's or Nordstrom's Rack, because
Nordstrom's.
Okay.
Every now and then you'll find something at Nordstrom's Rack, but generally, if you go to the main store, you'll find what you're looking for. I believe that if you're going to get on stage, you should be able to deliver a powerful message that brings real value to your audience, and you should look good doing it. If I go on the stage and I look like $10, automatically the audience is going to think that they're going to get a $10 message. So if I go out looking good, and then I go out sounding good, and then I'm educating the audience, everything just lines up, it matches up. And as shallow as that may sound, right, looking good is extremely important, which is one of the reasons why I work out 4 or 5 times a week, trying to just at least look fit, if nothing else.
That's the truth. That's true. He does. He said that the LA Fitness over there.
It's extremely important. So I do spend a lot of money on clothes just for the event. I don't dress like that, outside of the event, only when I go on stage. If you see me outside, you might see me in a jogging suit, you probably won't recognize who I am. But being on stage, it's important that you look the part.
And part of looking good is also part of feeling good. And then that energy exudes out to the people who you're delivering the message to. So that is so true, because you don't want to have mixed messages.
Yeah, and that's part of speaking, right? Your presentation. So he the holistic part of presentation and part of branding. So your appearance is key. It plays into that.
Mm-hmm. Body language too.
I just want to point out that we got the for those of you that are watching, by the way, Speakers Magazine, official magazine of Black Speakers Network. I think Pam, you always do an incredible job of finding incredible folks for the cover. In this particular case, we got a really, really cool trailer. And again, Shawn, I'm just this really kind of captures the production value that we're talking about. And so
Yeah, it does.
when you go on the speakersmagazine.com is where you can find this issue and all the past issues as well. But when you're looking at the online issue, you can click that video and kind of get a really good sense of what the Leadership Experience Tour is all about.
You know, if I may.
You may.
If I may. You know, I just want to plug Pam real quick. You know, Pam is really she's been a part of the tour in some way, shape, form, or fashion in Speakers Magazine for almost at the beginning.
Yes. That very beginning was very interesting, but it was still good. It was
interesting, and it's really been a part of our growth journey. Is the magazine and the quality of work that Pam puts into it, and allowing the speakers that's coming into our platform to get into a magazine that really provides exposure to a great audience. And so it has been a tremendous help for us. It's brought great value to our speakers. And I recommend that if you are a speaker, I mean, Speakers Magazine is to me is the magazine for speakers. So if you guys are listening into this, you should definitely take advantage and reach out to Pam, because there's a lot of great things that have happened, not only with the tour, but with others by being in the magazine.
Thank you, Shawn. Yeah, it is. It's almost like you have to just get started and then course correct and improve as you go. And that's what we've been doing together. So from your auditions, being there up firsthand, the first event, seeing the people, the caliber of people just rising. Oh my God, it's really good. And I've seen personally some of the transformation of some of the people who've come through LET, Leadership Experience Tour, and where they are right now. Rodney Burris being one for sure. That was a mind expanding experience for Rodney and Letitia and Nicole. But yeah, that was definitely one of those things where it's like, wow. So you definitely have that it factor to share with others. So I appreciate you as well. And Brian, I think, can we let the cat out the bag about you coming to Michigan, or no? Or did I just do that?
Well, I wasn't, but no, I am planning to be there. I'm looking forward to my first Leadership Experience Tour. Shawn, myself, Shawn and his team have had some really great conversations, strengthened the partnership, I think, with Black Speakers Network. So we should, not only will I be there, but I'm excited that we have so many folks from the Black Speakers Network community there as well.
Cool. Yes.
So, yes, I'm looking forward to being there and adding value.
I love it. You know, you can't tell a publicist any secret, right? We're gonna just blurt it out.
I was like,
I want you guys to think about this for a moment. You know, because Pam Perry, she comes to every show and she's interviewing and she's doing her thing and bringing value to the tour, and her magazines are all over the place and people are all excited about it. And then we got Brian Olds coming in from Black Speakers Networks. He got over 15,000 African-American speakers a part of his network. And so it's going to bring a lot of exposure from that standpoint, a lot of knowledge about the speaking industry that's coming in. And then we got Edwin Edibari, who is the founder of Happy Project Neighborhood. And I'm not sure if you guys know about him or not, but he's got over 100,000 solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and small business owners in his network. I just keynoted his international event. He had about 2,500 people on it just last night.
Wow.
And then we got Joy D. Calloway coming in, who's the vice president of medical African-American doctors, and she's over 50,000 African-American doctors here in the United States. Like, we got all these powerhouses coming in for this March event. It's going to be a historical event for the Leadership Experience Tour, because again, we plan on not having just 2 shows. We plan on having 4 shows in the same week. And there's going to be approximately 80 speakers there. It's going to be a crazy networking event for everybody. And you know, a lot of the speakers, they already have a great platform. And so you'll find that other speakers will start to speak on other speakers' platform. And that's the kind of value that we're trying to bring to the table for
I
everybody.
love that. That part right there. Other speakers will speak on other speakers' platform. People always ask, well, how did you get that speak? It's about networking. It's about relationships. It's about showing up, being in the place, people hearing you, and then you also sharing your platform as well. I love that. That is so good. You mentioned Joy Calloway for 2023. She's already booked for a cover.
Absolutely, no, that is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
She's a phenomenal speaker, by the way, too.
Yes.
Phenomenal speaker.
Oh yeah, only the cover people are very, very phenomenal speakers for sure. Okay.
So let's jump into this issue because I know Shawn, you're probably going to get whisked away pretty soon. But we have some incredible folks here. I'm looking at the table of contents and I'm recognizing some names. So you want to just kind of walk us through some of the folks that we have here?
Well, we have Kimberly Richardson. Kimberly Richardson, if I'm not mistaken.
And I'm sorry, is Tiffany Hall part of it, or is this is a separate piece?
Is Tiffany Hall in here too?
Yeah, she's on the first page.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's in the first page. Yeah, so Tiffany Hall, matter of fact, I think she's been with the tour a couple times as well. And she has a focus on being positive and really living your best life. And you talk about a person who brings energy to the stage, who has the ability to engage an audience. Like, she is absolutely phenomenal. You're going to probably hear me say this about most of the speakers coming through the tour because all of them are just about phenomenal, right? They all have different flavors. But if you're looking for someone to talk about purpose and what is your vision in life, right? And how to achieve what you want to achieve in life, she's a person that you might want to connect with.
Awesome. And then let's go to the next page. I love takeover issues. Obviously, that's how I got in Speakers Magazine. So this is like my bread and butter. And we're coming back to the publisher part before we close out the show, so we can prioritize the speakers. But
I talk about this book. This was one of Brian's baby projects as well. Like, he was the brainchild behind this issue. This book is so good. How long was it? 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I can't remember.
2019.
2019. So all your speakers, Shawn, should have this book. They should all have this book. It's an anthology of about, 33 speakers. Sherwood was in here as well. And, Chanel Simmons and Keisha was in here, Dr. Will. They should all have this because it goes over what, Brian? Give it the 4 M's.
The 5 M's, yeah. So mission, message, marketing, how to monetize and manage your speaking business. And yes. You're right. I mean, the book was designed to be a professional speaker business 101 guide, essentially.
Yes. This is the must-have book on how to dominate the market. It's like some things you can hear, but you got to have it written down. And so all of the speakers in here really give their advice. The forewords by Dr. George Fraser and the afterword by Dr. Les Brown. So make sure, Shawn, that they get this, okay? I bring some to the event, but definitely make sure that they all get that. It's just kind of like that's their business in a box book, right? That's that thing they need.
All right, and so Brian, that is your baby, right?
Yep.
So maybe let's get together sometime next week and let's see how we can make that happen, for everybody.
I love that.
I can tell you that we have a lot of speakers that have come from Black Speakers Network, and they rant and rave just about the education they've gotten over the time that they've been a part of the network. So let's try to figure that out. I'm all about that.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah. There go Pam, the publicist. That's right. That book not only written down, but so that they can highlight it. If it is the core and the resources, that's part of this event. Leadership Experiment Tour is the resources. That's what was mentioned in Article 2. This just being part of the network, it's already proof of the opportunities that will be exposed to you, and the connections that you'll be able to make right there. But yeah,
hopefully, Sierra, you can come, but we'll talk about that.
Right. I have it down. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Right. So that's.
She would be the one that will actually be at the table with the books and the magazines and networking with all of them.
Y'all not about to leave me out if I can help it, right? I'm gonna be in the mix too.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well, Sierra, you sound like you need to be there.
Oh, absolutely. We're working on the scheduling of it. So that is absolutely the goal of it. So we will see. We'll know soon.
Yes.
All right, well, that sounds good. Then I'm looking forward to it.
So pleasant surprise. Yes.
Yeah.
So we have Kimberly Richardson.
Love her.
Yeah, Kimberly, she's also another person. I think she's been to the tour at least twice. At least twice. And she is a speaker that really inspires, encourages women to tell their story, to talk about their perseverance, right? To talk about their vision, their promise, and also encourage other women just to praise other women. And it is, a lot of times, there's people that are rising up in our circle, but yet we don't want to give them praise for rising up. We're all about praising ourselves, but we should do that when we see others getting to that next level. So she encourages women to do that. And sometimes there's a block for folks in telling their story. And there's some things, there's some challenges in their life that prevent them from doing that. And she kind of helps them to understand why their story is really not their story, is for somebody else.
And she really helps women that are over 50 as well. That's one of her core thing, is that over 50 really just feeling like, what's your next? And she helps them find that next.
Yeah, and I love that so much. You can go to the next page, Monet, but for Kimberly, I think finding that niche, like you just said, Dr. Pam, because a lot of speakers kind of fall into the trap of like, oh, I just want to serve women. And it's like, okay, well, what
narrow it down, right?
Yeah,
because your message is designed to serve a certain segment of people, right? We all can help everybody, but you and your particular message is designed to serve a particular audience, and narrowing it down is the best way to serve them. I also just want to add too, you hear this ongoing thing. Shawn says that I think this is their second time. Some of it may even be their third time. Imagine coming to the same event each year. What does that tell you about the event itself, right? It is continually growing. It is not the same thing. It is nothing in which I've been there once, I don't need to do it again. Right? It is constantly changing. And so that says a lot about your program, your event, Shawn, right there. The fact that these people continue to reinvest and keep coming back. That's a message in itself.
Thank you so much, Sierra. I'll take it a step further than that. We have some folks this is their fourth time in a row, right? And it is because when I get with the staff after every show, the question is, how do we make this better?
Right.
What can we add to this? How do we take what we're doing and take it to the next level? And it's because I want people to come back. And I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway, is that there's a lot of platforms out there, but I want to give so much value to the people that spend money to come through this tour, so much value that when they go to another platform, they're pissed off. I'm being serious. That's exactly how we think. So when someone comes through the tour, they get so much, and when they come from another platform, they're like, we didn't get a portion of this, right? And that's important to us, because we want people to come back and not just to document their stories, but we also want them to understand that this network is a supportive network. In other words, this network will fuel your business. There have been so many businesses started, so many platforms started through the Leadership Experience Tour. I get it all the time. And that's why folks continue to come back and back and back, because it's not just about getting on stage. It's about also networking and fueling your business.
Yes. That is so cool. And networking is really, really key, Shawn, from the standpoint. Oh, I'm sorry. Is really, really key. Kimberly came through the Brand Accelerator. And so all of us have different pieces. And so from the Brand Accelerator, I made sure that she gets known about BSN, and BSN knows about the Leadership Experience Tour. You got to realize that all of us are connected, and all of us have a piece of something that a person needs for their professional career. You can't get everything from everybody, but we all work together so they can be the best you. And we learned that from Uncle George, right? And Uncle Les, right. From Les Brown and from George Frazier, those two. And they mentored Cheryl Wood, and Cheryl Wood has spoke at Shawn's event probably 2 or 3 times. I'm not really sure, but all of this is really connected, and you'll see someone like Kimberly or Cynthia or Dr. Frida starting, but then like 2 years from now, they are actually doing the same thing. They They maybe have their
Building.
platform where they're sharing with other people and creating things that bring in more new people. That's how it's supposed to be done, y'all. Really.
So we got Cynthia here too, CEO and co-founder of Launch to Legacy Academy. Some of these names are like, hey, I'm glad to see the little trademark next door because I'm like, ooh, that's good.
I can tell you that Cynthia is, not only has she come to the tour, but she's also a part of my one-year coaching program. And you'll find that when you have a business that can help us elevate our business, we do business with you. And so Cynthia is now the Leadership Experience Tour trademark lawyer. And so we didn't have certain things trademarked, and she's got everything trademarked for us. You know how you try to trademark stuff yourself, and you 4 months you think
It's frustrating.
you and then they want you to submit this and submit that, and then it doesn't get done in 3 weeks. She goes, you can go ahead and put your TM on there, Shawn. You're good to go. 3 weeks. That's all it took. I said, you got to be kidding me. And that's what happens. You deal with folks who know what they're doing, and then this is their profession. And so she does a phenomenal job, and she gives me a great rate. And we're actually introducing her through the tour so that everyone can take advantage of that service. Because most of the folks that are coming to this platform, none of their stuff is trademarked. None of it.
I think what happens with that is because we just got the BSN trademark, which hasn't been formally announced. But
you heard it here first.
I think what really happens with that is people like Cynthia, they know how to do the proper amount of due diligence on whatever the phrase or the term or the name is that you're trying to. And so even though the trademark application might be pending, it's confident because you don't have to have the trademark registered in order to use the trademark symbol. You do have to have it registered to use the rights reserved symbol. But I think there's a lot of education around that, Shawn, that you're mentioning, that just by example, you're able to provide that.
Shawn has to leave quickly. He's being summoned in London. Can you say something really, really quick about Dr. Frida? That's the only one I probably didn't know personally. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Frida is a speaker that helps people to develop their own business. And she's also, she's very spiritual, and she can inject some spirituality into your life to really help you, right? Just get your business off the ground, help you to get over roadblocks and challenges and stress and all the things that keeps us from being all that we can be. And she is just a great spirit, great soul. And when I say dynamic, she is absolutely dynamic on the stage. So again, if you're trying to develop a business, she is a great person to connect with, and she can help you through that. She does coaching as well.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, sir, thank you so much. We're going to talk about you behind your back on the next page. Well, in a good way. In a good way.
That's right. In a good way. Thanks for tuning in from London.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to talking with you next week. And Pam, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the show because I know you all over the place. So hopefully you're going to be able to attend that because people are looking forward to Sierra. I'm getting to Sierra because she's next. And Sierra, hopefully you'll be at the next event in March. If you can come in October, you can come in like you own the joint. So just make sure you guys don't need invitations. Just come in.
We appreciate that, but we're working on October so that I can, Speakers Magazine could really have a lot of knowledge, somebody there to talk about it and do the good stuff, interviewing and all that good stuff. Yeah. But thanks for checking in, and we look forward to hearing about the trip. We'll look for it on Facebook.
Absolutely. It'll be posted tonight because, we got video people that's documenting everything, and it'll be posted tonight. I promise you. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
Shawn. All right.
Take care, Shawn.
Take care. So Sierra, so we got the center spread. The center spread was different this month because we had a takeover issue, and it was literally we ran out of space.
Right. So. That's a good problem to have, right? We have more people, but everything, everything he talked about, already. That was our conversation. We talked about growth, elevation. One of the things that I really appreciated, though, is And wait, and we talked about he is, he's used to leading the pack. We talked about how his competitors are still trying to catch up because remember, COVID slowed some people down.
It did,
but
yeah.
not for him.
It grew exponentially.
Right, exactly. And so he talked about, and I often ask the questions, what inspires you or what motivates you? And he says, looking at his competitors trying to catch up. So every time he see where they are, he does something else. He said, because you want to make it easy for people to choose you. You never want to make it difficult for them. And when you go on to explain, as if everything is the same, if everything, the cost is the same and the value is the same, it's kind of either or 50-50. So when he talked about when people come to his event and they leave and they go another event and they're upset, we've all been to those events before in which we'll be like, why did I pay for this? So really kudos to him, and I am looking forward to it. And if you don't have your ticket yet, people, I suggest you leadershipexperiencetour.com and reserve your seat and get your ticket.
Well, I think one of the things that's important is when you focus on, when you really focus on experience, like he's doing, you don't have to spend as much time worrying about competition because honestly, like the people that are meant for you are meant for you. But at the same time, like when you're creating a environment where people are naturally, because I see he says it's not good enough to have a good product, even if it's a proven product. I think that's true, but I also think that people are shrewd enough to kind of know when you're dealing with somebody that really cares about the work and also are somebody that's not just trying to be like, oh, cut us a check for this and we'll do this and this, but you don't get the type of followership, the type of community, the type of
repeat business.
Yeah, if it's not like truly valuable, and that's you can't Facebook ad your way to that type of.
I love that Facebook ad. And when we talk about back to elevation and growth, and to point you're talking about, Brian, is last year he added the components of the courses. Pam did some training for them. Each year keeps getting better. And Pam, you could probably speak on this more. I'm just going to mention it. But this year he's added the cable channels, the commercials, the exposure that, with mainstream channels in which the attendance or his team is going to have. It says an exposure to mainstream media and 13 cable channels. And then, of course, the benefit is the networking.
And you have to realize he didn't start there. He started in a theater during the day when when movie theater isn't really being used, and basically got it for really, really inexpensive. He had a couple of cameras. He didn't do the photo shoot. He did a little bit of advertising, but not really, just trying to get out there, trying to connect to people. We were doing emails. We were just tapping people on the shoulder. We were calling and texting like, hey, you need to be in here. It's like you start out and it's crunchy, but eventually it does get to the point where you can expand. But he couldn't have started like that with 13 cable channels and doing all the photo shoot, the elaborates and all that, just starting out. So I want to let people know that, you see the glory, but you don't know the story of just really, and putting together the right team is important, and partnerships. That's really.
I think partnership is kind of the subtext behind this entire thing.
Absolutely.
He just read out all of the folks that is coming in and being a part of it, and I think
they're bringing.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of like, as speakers, I know we have a lot of Black Speakers Network members like watching and evaluating and probably already have signed up. And I would just encourage people not to be like overly myopic around what's happening here, because the Leadership Experience Tour as an event is a one-time thing. It's like an event. And if you're speaking there, it's kind of like you may be tempted to just say, oh, I'm coming to speak, and then that's what's happening. But I think the value, just like what we're doing with Speakers Magazine, extends way beyond just those couple of days that you'll be in Michigan. It's more like, hey, you should be building relationships with the Pam Perrys that are going to be there, with the other speakers. You should be building relationships with the photographers that'll be there. Like there's so many elements that
And the
you can
media.
and the media, yeah. So like you walk into a space like this, like you don't just want to have a speaker hat on. You want to have an entrepreneur brand.
Building
PR.
your business, absolutely.
Mhm.
And I want to share this. This isn't particular with his, but our upcoming next speaker, and I won't mention it unless Pam does. But they've attended an event, right? They paid their money. They're a speaker. They're a professional speaker. They paid their money and they came. They weren't even speaking at this event, and they met other people. And within it's either 3 weeks or 3 months, they were speaking on someone else's stage.
That's right.
But it is that important, like you said, Brian, not to come in so focused, oh, I'm just speaking, but have that opportunity to network and get to meet people, and they pull them on their stage, and then it led to bigger stages. So I think that's one of the greatest values here. Even if you get your brand to someplace else, the fact that this network is so strong and so valuable, Black Speakers Network, Pam Perry and her organization, and then have, Shawn, and then you mentioned those other people coming in. That is such a robust group of professionals that you can really engage and interact with.
And just think.
Go ahead, Pam. Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking someone like Kizzy, who has a gift, great speaker, but how does she get out there, right? How does she get known? And so part of it is like, you've got to come under the wing of someone else that's going to show you and share your talent and gift with a wider audience. And that's what Kizzy did. Kizzy McCrae Shepherd, she has been at Shawn's event a couple of times, and I see her, moving forward, in excellence. She's not where she started, and she's improving as she goes. Everything's improving. The website, the messaging, all of that. And that only happens when you come out of the lab and go into the market, right? You can think everything's gonna, like, I think
you can read everything, you can do everything, right?
Like, I think this is a great idea, but you got to come out of the lab and quit testing and just actually do the experiment and actually see how.
Well, how about get in the lab, right? Because you're reading everything, but now you got to get out there, right? That's what you want them in the forefront, right?
Yeah.
Out there experimenting. Yeah.
I think, Pam, I think Kizzy should connect with, and I agree with all those points too. I mean, just the photo here that she's leveraging, and I think is a great design choice again by your team to kind of put it here, because it's like this is from a photo from the tour, so it's kind of like, okay, like let's leverage what you have. But then I think Kizzy, if she's ends up watching this, I think she should probably connect with like Letitia Nicole, Letitia Nicole, because she's she's like a nurse, right? She has a master's in like nursing, and so
nursing and very prophetic, very spiritual as well. So definitely for sure,
it would be a good power team.
That really would be. Yeah, those two. And you see those kind of things because you take the time to know the members and know the people and just really understanding where they're coming from as well. So yeah, that is one of the main things for sure. That is
that's what I really feel like my job is now, Pam. Like I'm kind of that's why I kind of use the term like, I'm like semi-retired speaker.
Building that bridge. That's what Pam's great at. That she immediately knows who needs to connect. But also, how about the eye? With these photos, just the eye of how to lay everything out and what fits where, and how to really leverage what is available. So even if someone comes in and have not had the opportunity to have their full photo shoot, Pam and her team, able to still make you shine.
Yeah.
That this magazine does.
Ooh, yes, we work with
the next page.
We work with it. We really do. Tabitha, with the spelled a different way, right? Tabitha Russell, Dr. Vanessa Jenkins. Those two I have not had the pleasure of actually meeting, but they'll be at the October doing their thing, right? Tabitha and Dr. V Solutions, they'll be doing their thing. I love Dr. Vanessa's photos. They're very, very vibrant. Obviously you see her as a motivational speaker, trainer, author, and coach, but she has that like, okay.
Very personable, right?
Yeah. Very, and each person has their own different thing. I mean, Tabitha's in the blue, where you see like the gold for Vanessa. So it's just everybody has, someone will be drawn to Tabitha of who she is based on her thing, going from employee to CEO, serial entrepreneur, and then someone will be drawn to Vanessa's solutions, right? So it's just such a thing. What I really want people to look at, especially if you're a speaker, look at everybody's websites and just see how their little brand is put together, right? What is it that is their USP, just so you can learn how to leverage yours. So I always say, go to tabitharussell.com, take a look at it, and show love, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Twitter. It doesn't cost you anything to like someone's video and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Do that, because I always feel like it'll come back to you. The more you share and like and support other people, you'll get that coming back to you. So don't just look like, oh, they're in the magazine, isn't that nice? But go and actually, drop them a line and say, hey, Dr. Tabitha, I saw you in Speakers Magazine, or hey, Dr. V, I saw you in Speakers Magazine. Follow them on Instagram, like them.
Connect with them on LinkedIn. I do that all the time when I'm watching, some of the videos, the people you interview, right? That on your podcast. After listening to it, I go to LinkedIn. I just saw you on Pam's podcast. I love this point, and connect with them.
People, you never know. They could be like your neighbor. You never know. I went to one event one time. There were two ladies. They were speaking. It says, oh, where are you from? I'm Chicago. Oh, well, what part of Chicago? Oh, I live in Oak Park. And they actually are like 10 minutes from each other. And now they're kind of getting together and they're brainstorming, doing some things together. So, link up with the people. Don't just look at the picture and just, but they have something on there, especially if it leaps out to you. Like Dr. Vanessa is a John Maxwell, part of the John Maxwell team. Okay. She's one of those. So if you happen to be with John Maxwell, make sure that you connect with her there as well. So it's different things for different people, but they're really, I always say, people come across your radar for a reason. And it could be because maybe it's not something for you, but like what Brian just said, I think that Kizzy should connect with Letitia. So it's because of that. And you just never know. It's so amazing. Yeah.
Very good. Well, we can go to the next page. I know I'm looking forward to meeting some of these people at the tour, hopefully.
Yes. And so this person here, Dr. Pamela Straker, she has a lot in her bio that I actually cut down. So we're working on it. She is very accomplished. But one of the things for Dr. Pam, she is caregiver advocacy, right? And so she's a real medical doctor of psychology. She's been at Yale and all this kind of stuff. But really, she should connect with, and Sierra knows who that should connect her with, right? Is Dr. Cynthia Hickman, right? Those two will definitely connect as well. So with her, she's a heroic caregiver. That's her brand at the bottom. Connect with her, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. But she really helps people through stress management. If you're a caregiver, you're going through a lot of stress. So this really like one of the main things that she does. She has a book that's coming out called The Heroic Caregiver. And anyone who's in a point where they're taking care of parents, or if it's your spouse or whatever, they know how stressful that can be. So she really is one of those people that is championing that from her standpoint, from the psychological standpoint.
Dr. Cynthia, as well as not Cheryl. What's Cheryl's sister's name? Does stress?
Cherie.
That's right. The both of them. They're all kind of in that same circle, working on the same thing.
Yeah. Well, basically psychology. That's a psychology.
See, I like this because, like, my preference with things like this, as Dr. Pam is doing, another Dr. Pam, we putting the brand up front and making it clear, like heroic caregiving. Even though it's like a lot in the bio, it really it pulls me in. Pam, you and I have had a lot of conversations. I'm taking in this role of taking care of a aging parent, and it's like, you want to position things in a way where if your target audience or people that are connected to your target audience sees your stuff, you just kind of get drawn in, and just the name kind of building this brand around heroic caregiving. I think that's very savvy on her part.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. She knows exactly who she's talking to. If it's not what you're into, then you flip over to another page. But if this is the person that's like, hey, she's talking to me, I understand that. I need her to come in and speak to AARP or any of those type of things, right? Do I hear a bird in the background? What is that?
I'm sorry, that's mine. I'll cut them off. Let me just say this too about the title heroic caregiving is that sometimes you don't even know that you need that person. You don't even know services are available, in other
That's
words,
true. Yeah.
because I've been a caregiver and it's just not to me. I see it now more often, with Dr. Cynthia and everyone else. But that's why it's important for you to do that part of branding, having conversations with publicists or brand strategists or even messaging so that you are drawn to that because who knew that there's someone that can actually help you with the caregiving as far as not even the actual part of it, but getting the paperwork, the scheduling, all the things that they know you will experience as a caregiver and set you up so that you yourself don't get burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my canary, guys. I'm going to mute.
I was wondering, I said, do I hear a bird? I know I have that sound effect, but that wasn't it. So I love that. That's okay. Peppy's over here asleep, so we're good. Pets are those random things you just never know.
My imaginary pets are on their best behavior as well. So,
Dr. Angela Mack, I love her. She's from Michigan. This is the thing. During her more than 25 years of experience as a physician and teacher, Dr. Angela uses her keynote and books to motivate women to take action to release the stressful and pressured superwoman lifestyle. That sentence right there tells you exactly who she's talking to, right? Women are able to embrace a healthy, well-woman lifestyle to live great lives, which is the name of her company, Live Great Lives. And then she says she's a simple but powerful formula that helps women achieve wellness and success in all areas of their lives. This bio, if you can look at it, I want people to understand that her bio is really, really succinct and good. It doesn't read like your resume, but it reads in terms of what other people will get when they experience you. She goes on to say that she's a founder of Live Great Lives Academy, host of transformational coaching programs, a mastermind, a network community, and membership for women. She's not afraid to say, well, it's for everybody, for women. And then she says, a community of well women who show up in life as authentic, confident, whole, and powerful. It's like one of those things that she's graduated from Johns Hopkins University and Wayne State University Medical School, but she's think about it, she's a doctor, she's a physician, and she's still seeing other things that she needs to do. Speaking on the stage, being part of Shawn's event, as well as doing her mastermind, doing her coaching programs, having a membership program. It's like genius. So this one here, if anyone who's a medical doctor said, "Oh, I don't have time," talk with Dr. Angela. It's like figure out how she's doing this, because part of one of the things that she wants to do is just help women be well, live well, and get rid of that, what she called that superwoman lifestyle, meaning like they're doing all this stuff, but they're not taking care of themselves, right? They're super in other areas, but not taking care of themselves. So her bio is really on point. It's really, really good. And she's been on like the ABC affiliate here as an expert, showing up there as well. So she's just taking on her medical expertise and really putting it in a message of who she really wants to help or who her message is for, which is women, and really expanding her brand.
That's how you do it.
Let's talk about that bio. Just go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just agreeing. I think that's a masterclass on how to do it, because you got credibility, you have very clear language, you have
Who's for?
I mean, I'm not even a woman, and I'm just like, oh, like that's the like you read the description. So like, and this is a big reason why I think people shouldn't write their own bios. Like, I think you should really work with somebody that has a understanding of exactly how to craft language to speak directly to your target audience.
Yeah.
Craft language, message, but more importantly, brand. Because usually bios are like, to me, Pam and I have this conversation all the time. They're like obituaries. This bio is a branding bio. There is a difference. And when we talk about a branding bio, we're talking about clear, concise messaging as to who she is targeting, what her experience is, what her life experience is, and how she can help you benefit. And that's why Pam likes this bio so much, because it gets right to everything that is required for a brand, as opposed to your obituary.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't need to read like a resume. It really, it gets to the point. We know what school she went to and all of that, but really it gets to the point, like, what is she? She's a voice for wellness and women's empowerment, a best-selling author of creating wellness for women. And that's one of the things. And she talks about what she does, not like who she is, like what she does for other people and that's one of the things that I think people really have to learn how to do with the bio. Yes, you have accolades and all that. There's other things in this bio, she did not put in, we did not put that in, but there's other things in it that she could have said. But that's why you go to the website to find out more.
What's in it for me, what's in it for me. She talks about how she's capable, what her background is, and what you get out of it. So I love it.
And this person here is a psychotherapist, another doctor. We got a lot of doctors, right? Doctor, PhD, doctor. This issue is leveled up. I mean, like 95% of the people in this issue were like doctors. But she really helps people, helping them with life transformation services, whether it's for they're helping them find their why experience and to live their best. So as a psychotherapist, she really helps people, create their dreams, how to develop them, how to explore them, how to stop self-sabotage, from a psychotherapist standpoint. And speaking just gives her an opportunity to inspire a larger audience. Now, she could probably be fine and just sit in her little office and do her psychotherapy, but she wants to really let people know that what psychotherapy, a psychotherapist looks like, regular, nice, smiling person, right? You don't have to be afraid of a psychotherapist, right? It's like she's getting out there. It's like, if you got some issues, you could talk to me. And
First of all,
yeah.
She has 40 years of experience, which is crazy, because she looks like she's like.
She must have started when she was 8, 10, right?
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like 40 years of experience doing what? Because it takes 8 years to get that credential. So like, how do you? That's insane.
She is. I mean, we say that 60 is a new 40. So, hey, there you go.
Well, not only that, but when you think about, Pam, nothing gets wasted. It may not just be that, but everything that she's done to lead into that and that led up to that can be counted too, because that there's experience in that. That's another stepping stone.
But it says her successful career of 40 plus years.
I get you. She is still, like I said, she was in elementary school when she started, right?
Oh, like the Charlie Brown, like give 5 cents for advice.
And I always tell people too about their bios, is that think about the unique things about you. I think about Elizabeth Atkins. She's a reporter, but she wrote on race all the time. When you look at Elizabeth Atkins, she's blonde hair, blue eyes, naturally. And she's from, her father was white, her mother was black. And she uses that as part of her story all the time growing up. And so with Dr. Cheryl Burton, she puts down here, her Afro-Caribbean Panamanian roots allow her to appreciate, serve, and navigate well within various cultures. So I said, whatever is unique about you, if you're saying, I'm the bad dude from Baltimore, I'm not saying that's you, Brian, or anything, but you know what I'm saying, but
I ain't gonna deny it.
But yeah, it's just like that's part of you. They're going to see that anyway. So leverage it as an asset. All the things about you as your asset. So when I sit down and I'm writing bios with people, like, what are the things? Because if someone who is Caribbean, they're maybe looking for a therapist, maybe they don't really want to talk to anyone else, but it's like, oh my God, I think she'll get me. Or the Caribbean newspapers will say, we'd love you to come on because we want you to really speak to our audience because of your background, being Caribbean, so you just never know. Dr. Stacey NC Grant, she was one of our cover. She always talks about, being from Jamaica, right? And she has a big community of people from Jamaica that follow her. It's whatever it is that's unique about you, to leverage it and to embrace it, to go into it. You know, I'm a girl from Detroit, from Motown. That's part of my story when I talk to people.
Mhm.
I love Berry Gordy. Berry Gordy was a star maker, right? He was promoting these people. It's like, I thought everybody felt like that about Berry Gordy. No, only me, because I grew up in Motown, right? I could see Diana Ross, you know, certain times in the neighborhood, right? It's like you could go in certain places and know that's their house, and that's so whatever is part of your story, that your experiences in the past, use it and leverage it. And I think, you know, don't just try to be so straight and narrow, like, well, you know, that's not really important. Yes, it is. It's unique to you. That's why you
Particularly
have no competition.
in this area. We have someone in Ready, Set, Go, one of your members, Pam, and she works with domestic violence. But I think she's from somewhere like, I'm going to say Nigeria, but it's a very, you know, somewhere in Africa. And you know, I had my session with her, and I told her that it would be good for her to put that in there. You know why? Because that culture, that family is different from just Americans, but she can attract and draw that segment of people. Whereas before, she, you know, she wasn't thinking about it, you know, it's just very broad. But no, put where you're from and seek to help those people, because your culture and lifestyle are different.
Yeah, they'll have an affinity for you automatically.
A trust. There's a level of trust. Like you said, she knows what I'm going through. She know what our men are like, you know. So yeah, it's key. It's important. Messaging is important, guys.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I know. I mean, I'm probably going to, if I can find time, Pam, I'm probably going to clip that little masterclass that you just gave and like put it out separately, because I think that's a really, really powerful message to lean into our individuality. A trap that I think some speakers fall into, because we're trying so hard to like emulate and model like what other people are doing, and we forsake our own individuality in the sake of, you know, trying to become like mainstream or whatever. But
you know, I think it's probably just the signs of the times too, right? Because what you're mentioning, Brian, I think that's the way it standardly is. But I think a lot of people are realizing now the importance of individualism and what makes me different. I think as people get more interested in, like, we have all these doctors who probably at one time never even thought about personal branding, but now everyone's involved in personal branding, and that question is asked: what makes you different? Why should I work with you as opposed to the other one? So I think that was the standard, but I think as long as they have people such as us, you know, creating the space to have these conversations, I think that will continually grow. This, you know, really narrowing down who you are and who you want to serve becomes the new normal, and that fear goes away that Brian you mentioned.
I would love to help with the whole bio, and then also too what I call your superhero name.
Yeah.
So think of our guy, Robert Youngblood, YB, right?
Yeah.
What is he known as?
LinkedIn, the LinkedIn something.
LinkedIn locksmith.
Yeah.
So everybody has to find their superhero name, and that allows them to write the bio from that position and that perspective. And so I you know, YB's in one of the books, but all of the people really in this book and their bios are really good examples of how bios should be. You know, Sherwood in an example as well. But Dr. Chanel, you know, PhD, our last person here, her bio was good. She really has more of a corporate kind of a bio, which is fine, because that's obviously who she's talking to. So she's going to corporate. So this bio looks like that for the standpoint, not really so much like, do I get her? Does she have programs? No, she's really speaking to corporations. So she's an owner, chief engagement officer, global engagement consultants, keyword engagement. So, you know, she's very knowledgeable. She's an author. She works with overachieving women who are unfulfilled in their professional or personal life, exhausted and running on empty and trying to hold it all together and afraid to commit to what they really want. That's a lot. So one of the things that she does is that's what she does on a personal level, but then she really is in the DEI space and speaking to corporations. She's a U of M grad. She got her PhD from U of M, you know, so a lot of her things is very academic and corporations like that. So she's positioned a little bit different. She's got 2 master's degrees and a doctor.
I saw that. She got them at the same time.
Yes. So I know Dr. Chanel. She's a beast. She knows her stuff. She really does. She loves school. She loves school. And
I see.
I would never be that person with 2 master's degrees. You kidding me? Then the next thing is really coming up in November, which
Speaker
is
Con, baby. Let's get
yes,
it.
yes. If we could click over the page, can we? Well, there it
There
is.
we go.
Yes, SpeakerCon. So that's coming up in 2022. It is the premier, oh my God, one of the premier galas and award programs and different from Shawn's, which Cheryl will bring her speakers to the stage and all of that. It's a networking as well. And I always say those that show up, go up. You should definitely go to this event. Brian, tell us about your experience when you went.
Yeah, so first of all, SpeakerCon is what I would call the Oscars of
Yes.
the
Of
speaker
speaking,
industry.
professional
But
speaking.
the thing about SpeakerCon that I love is that it's not just celebrating like professional speaking; it's celebrating communication. And so, Dr. Sherwood has done an incredible job of curating programming, as you can see, keynotes, interviews, panel discussions, leadership coaching. So it's not just celebrating the profession of speaking, but it's the art of communication and how that shows up, because there are so many people involved. Pretty much every major company has like a communications department. You have government agencies that are responsible for communicating messages. You have influencers and brands that are constantly trying to communicate with their audience. And so communication shows up through so many different vehicles. And I think SpeakerCon, in addition to coming to learn, it's celebrating excellence across the communications industries and whatever professions those show up in. And so, yeah, I highly recommend. It's almost kind of like 2 events in one, because the gala itself, it's almost kind of like a standoff. It always sells out. I would be not surprised if it's already not sold out. But the gala is where all of the awards, and it's a black tie. That's where you're seeing all the red and everything. Like, it is one of the most lavishly kind of well done events. Like, it's just a sea of Black excellence in that room, and there are awards given across the industry. So I think that's great. But then SpeakerCon itself as an event is kind of like the go-to thing I think you should consider doing if you are anywhere in that speaker communication industry. So it is awesome.
Definitely. And SpeakerConconference.com, she allows you to network all of the major platform speakers. She has Valerie Burton coming this year, who is a phenomenal life coach. People know her as like she's the first life coach I ever had. She's been in the game probably at least 25 years or so. And she's got like other speakers as well. Oh my God. I think she's from the Baltimore area, if I'm not mistaken.
She is. Valerie. Yeah, she's an OG. She was one of the first people that I saw ever doing anything in this space.
Oh my God. You said that was my client.
Hey, I believe that. I absolutely believe that.
Yeah, Valerie stepped out of the PR space and really needed a PR for a new pivot that she was doing, which was life coaching and speaking. And she's been doing it, and she's teaching others as well. So it's not surprised that her and Cheryl hook up at this event as well. And she's really sharing it, the whole event, this whole issue. I want people to go to speakersmagazine.com and pick it up. The whole issue will inspire you as a speaker to really, and if you're looking for motivation, just connect with some of the speakers in here. You see a lot of them will be talking to you. They're really talking about coming back to yourself, love life, live free. That's Chanel's book. I mean, so just really, make sure you're using the tools and get the magazine, have it delivered to your house. If you don't want to read it online, or you don't want to use up all your ink printing it out, get it delivered to your house. Go to Speakers Magazine and do that. And if you want to get featured, go to speakersmagazine.com and you can get featured there as well. A lot of the BSM members have come through, and I always tell the speakers, I did this for Cheryl's group who's in November. She's going to take over for November. I did like a little thing of how to leverage the PR that you get from Speakers Magazine. You're going to be in the issue. You're going to be on the website. You'll be in the social, you'll be part of, add that to your content creation, add that to your content calendar, so that you sharing those out. I mean, we got tweet buttons and Facebook buttons and LinkedIn buttons on every page. So if your page is in there, you need to be tweeting that at least once a week. Brian,
a full marketing engine, marketing behind it.
Yeah, and Brian can go to his issue as well and tweet his particular one and say, hey, do it every Friday, Flashback Friday, Throwback Thursday, whatever. I have promoted you out on Monday, on Man Crush Monday,
I saw that and I was like, I did that and I tagged Michael B. Jordan just to let him know, like, hey, you can't get it every week, bro.
Here's the competition, right?
I'm like, it's just, I mean, you slip.
To have such a powerful machine behind you, it is,
these are
it's
some
amazing.
Of the favorites, just really being part of that, being part of the club. You know what I'm saying? Just being part of that, Darnell, and they're rolling. Nicole Roberts Jones, and we got Dr. Joelle. This is a fangirl moment right here with Dr. Joelle, because I told you she's like my mentor right from way back. She's the first Black woman to have an ad agency. Talk about looking good. Oh my God. Yeah, she's been in the business 50 plus years. So yeah.
Well, I can say this, Pam, you make my job super easy, because that I mean, you pretty much hit on all the things that we like to cover. And I know we have folks that are kind of watching for the first time, so obviously welcome. Make sure you get connected, speakersmagazine.com. But as we close out, do you have any last thoughts? I'm not going to be with you next month, of course, so you all will be holding it down for the takeover with Cheryl. But this is another incredible takeover issue. So great job.
Yes. That's going to be coming out, and you're going to be traveling, I believe, overseas.
I'll be in Barbados. So,
that's I want to hear it. I want to bring it up.
Everybody knows me out there.
Everybody, man.
Has that become your second home?
Well,
where were you last time? Stayed for a month. Where were you?
It was Barbados as well.
Okay.
So one of the things I will say is that, so I have a 50 by 50 goal to see 50% of the world by the time I'm 50. So generally that's kind of what it is. The reason I'm going back to Barbados this time is because my girlfriend is turning 40. So she wanted to do a birthday in Barbados. So that's the reason that I'm going twice in 1 year. Normally I wouldn't be doing that, but Barbados is a very easy place to go, but it's a very hard place to kind of do like 1 week or 2 weeks. You kind of need more time to immerse. So that's
So how long will you be gone this time?
A month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like October 20, we leave like 27th. I think we come back like the 21st or something like that.
That's so cool. There's a book written by a lady from Detroit, came out in June, called Catch Me If You Can, One Woman's Journey to Every Country in the World. It's a hardcover book. It is beautiful. Brian, if you don't have that book, get that book. And
Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, the Catch Me If You Can, One Woman's Journey to Every Country in the World. She actually has been she's a photographer, traveler, photographer, blogger. She's been to 195 countries in the world. And basically this book, she's sharing her journey, pictures about every particular country that has gone to, and human connections. And it's amazing. She's from Detroit. Her name is Jessica. And definitely it's called The Catch Me If You Can. The book is, talk about a coffee table book. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going through and I'm like, wow.
I know you said she's a photographer. I can imagine some of the shots.
Yes.
I just ordered it on Amazon while you were talking about it.
That book, it will help you with your goals. I mean, you said 50-50. She went to 195 countries. So
well, the problem is, a lot of people don't realize having a US passport is like the third most powerful document on the planet. Like it won't get you into 198 countries, but it gets you into a lot of them. Sometimes to go to other countries, you have to get a visa to go there, and then you have to, but there's some, I picked 50%, which is roughly like 98 countries to your point, because I think some countries, I'm fine experiencing them through like a book or something, because, just
she went to Afghanistan.
Yeah,
you read about it. She said that was the best place she ever went. She said the media just really talks about it in such a negative way. She said, but read her story. She said Afghanistan was the best place and the safest place to go to.
Well, I think it depends. I think it depends on who you are, your experience, and what's happening. There are a lot of countries that are generally like safer for men to travel and not women, and then safer for Americans to travel and non-American. Like, so it just, I think it just depends.
it may be safer for women. Yeah.
But I don't think I would, sign up to go to like Mogadishu, and like other places, even though it
may be fine, right? Yeah. We get it.
I'm like, why would I not just to check off a box, but But this is great though. I appreciate y'all so much. I look forward to continuing to work with each of you. Sierra, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I just think that, I stressed this a lot. I think probably last year, it's all about community. And that's what Black Speakers Network does. That's what Ready, Set, Go does. And, the partnerships, it's all about community. And that's what these events are about. So definitely get in Ready, Set, Go, Speak. Definitely join Black Speakers Network. And you're in the right community. You're in the right space.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just shake your fan and get in there.
All right, guys. But
we are done. Challenge.
Thanks again for joining us. And as always, keep speaking up. Your audience awaits, and we will see y'all on stage. Have a great rest of the day.
Great day, guys.